guys, it is Tiny Little Whispers ASMR, and welcome to today's spooky video. Really quick before we get started, we are almost to 15,000 subscribers. We are seriously so close, and as my husband has promised, he will do an ASMR video with me once we hit that 15,000 subscriber mark. So we plan on recording a Ask Us Anything video. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below, as that video will be coming very soon for you guys, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. So ask away. Yeah, if you are new to the channel, it truly would help me out if you could like, comment, or subscribe, as that will help others find these videos and this channel a bit easier when searching for ASMR content to watch. But let's go ahead. We are going to dive into the story today. So instead of being one story, we are doing a conglomeration of stories. So these are just all stories, spooky stories that I found online. So let's read through them. This says that they are all supposedly true. However, they are user submitted, so keep that in mind as well. Who knows if they're actually true or not. But let's start with story 1. I once found a ring in a cemetery. It had clearly been dropped and was not on any grave, so I took it and my mom posted about it on Facebook. Nobody ever claimed the ring, so I kept it. It was not fancy, just a dark metal with a small eye-like pattern. It was always cold to the touch and had no gems. One day I lost it at school, and I was super sad about it because I had gotten attached to it and worn it every day. So I told my mom that I lost it, and she promised to look for it, as she worked at the school as a cleaner. We had not been outside that day, so it had to be inside. I got home that day, and guess what was on my bed? The ring. Of course, I was happy, but in the back of my mind, I was confused because I knew I had put it on. My mom came home 2 hours later, and guess what she found? My ring. I now had 2 identical rings. She found it in my classroom near my desk. I still have both rings, but refuse to wear them. And oh my goodness, there is something in my eye, you guys. I don't know what it is. Let's see if we can make it through some more of these videos, or more of these stories here. When I was 5, I was playing in my room while my mom was cooking dinner downstairs. My toys were always on a really high shelf that I couldn't reach alone, so I needed my mom to get them for me. I shouted down to her to get me one of my toys, but she said I had to wait until she could come upstairs. I waited like 5 minutes before I decided to try to get them myself. I was jumping and trying to grab it, but I still couldn't reach. That was until I started floating. I reached the toy and started playing with it. After a few minutes, my mom came up and saw I had the toy. She asked me how I managed to reach it, and I told her I floated. She didn't believe me, but none of us have any other explanation of how else I could have gotten it. Both of those are so creepy. Story number 3, though. Oh, this one is so terrifying to me. So my husband and I lived in student family apartments while he was working on his degree and also working 2 jobs. I stayed at home with our baby who had some extra needs. I'd been up all night with the baby and kissed the hubs goodbye when he left for work around 5:30 a.m. just a few months ago. My dad and I both have insomnia, so we were up texting around 3 a.m. I was in the living room and my husband was asleep in the bed. I got up to get a drink from the kitchen and to look in on my husband. Right then, a fan we had in the bedroom turned on and flew off the box we had it on, hit the ceiling, and went all the way into the living room. It hit the ceiling so violently that it left a dent. My husband slept through it. I have no idea how, but my dad felt it through the floor, even though his room was halfway across the house above where it hit. It was wild. I can't explain it. Okay, on to the next spooky story. This one, when I first read it, I was like, oh, this one creeps me out too. One time, my friend and I were walking through Blockbuster, talking about what movie we were going to get. A couple walked by as I was talking, and the man suddenly said my name. Just my name, nothing else at first. I turned expecting to see someone that I knew, but instead we just stared at each other blankly for several seconds before he said, I recognized your voice and knew your name, but I have no idea who you are. We then spent 20 to 30 minutes going through every school, neighborhood, workplace, friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, and fake acquaintance we could come up with and could never find the connection. As far as we could tell, me and this man had never once encountered each other until that day. My friends continue to joke that this man is my husband in either a parallel universe or in a past life. Scary stuff like that just creeps me out sometimes. Okay, on to the next spooky story. One of my teachers grew up in a house with a lot of paranormal activity and told stories all the time, but this one spooked me the most. About 15 years after moving away, she and her 3 siblings went back to visit their childhood home. The house was a little ways out of town, but when they went to the road that led them home, it wasn't there. It looked like it never existed. They shrugged it off and drove down there anyway, only to find the house was gone as well. There was not anything to suggest a house had been there at all. No foundation, no stones, no cement, nothing. Spooked, they went into town, which was a fairly small town, and asked if something had happened to their house. Everyone looked at them like they were nuts and said, there's never been a house down there. They still have no idea what happened. Oh, scary. Alright, let's see here. Where is the next one? Alright, when I was about 8 or 9, my family went mentioned that she found a small gold children's ring sitting on top of my grandma's grave, so she sat it on top of her headstone in case someone had accidentally dropped it. When we went to visit the following week, the ring was still there. She picked it up and handed it to me. It was the ring I had lost years ago. It wasn't cut in half like it was supposed to be, but you could see the exact part where it had bent, trying to remove it from my teeth years before. I took it home to my mom, and she was pretty sure she had thrown it away years ago. I still have it and still have no idea how it got there and how it wasn't cut in half anymore. Alright, next story. When I was about 7, my family relocated to Charlotte, North Carolina. We were staying at a hotel while my parents looked for a house in the area. Every night we were there, I had very intense dreams about a girl, but could never remember the details. I just knew she was bad news and had something to do with Charlotte. Her face was clear. I can still see it in my head. Anyway, I spent the next few weeks trying to dissuade my family from moving to Charlotte in order to avoid the girl. Thankfully, we ended up moving to a small town outside of the city, which was a relief because that meant I only had to worry about her if we took a trip into town. A couple of days after moving in, the lady from across the street came to introduce herself. Her daughter was with her, and she was the girl from my dreams. Her name was Charlotte. I really want to know, was Charlotte bad news? Like, how was this girl? How did this turn out? Let's see. Where is the next one? Sorry, I kind of have them a little bit all over the place here. Okay, this is actually the last one, but oh, so terrifying. So I had just started dating this guy who recently bought a beautiful 100-year-old house. I stayed over one night and had a very bizarre dream. In this dream, I needed his help and tried to find him, but I couldn't. It was the middle of the night still when I woke up from the dream. I blinked my eyes open, only to see my boyfriend staring back at me. After a few seconds, I asked, "Are you looking at me?" He bizarrely waved his hand in front of my face, then jumped out of bed, threw the lights on, and ran downstairs. He returned a few minutes later, and of course, I was totally freaked out. When I asked what that was about, he assured me it was nothing, and that he thought he left a downstairs window unlocked. We left it at that and went back to bed. The next morning, I his house for quite some time after that. I did end up marrying him though, and even 10 years later, we cannot explain it. Needless to say, we live in a different house now. And I lied, there is kind of almost two more stories here, really only one. But then I have a little personal story to share related to this one. So, one night about 4 summers ago, I picked up my little sister, her friend, and my cousin from a bowling alley that we frequented. I was driving back home with them and turned into a neighborhood that I knew was a straight line to my house. Somehow it ended up making us turn and take turn after turn with no exit, and it seemed to never end. We started getting a little nervous and kind of freaked out because there was no way this was possible. We'd taken this road many times before, and it always took around 10 minutes to get to my house from the bowling alley. We weren't going in circles because we never saw anything familiar on this road. Finally, we saw an exit